Thank you, everyone. I know it's about lunchtime, so I will try my best to finish my presentation as soon as possible. Okay. Currently, there are many countries in the world. They are planning to conduct or already conduct some kind of eID program. But if you do some survey, you might find that their definition of eID is not necessarily be the same. So here we can have a more strict definition. In this definition, eID means it's a chip-based card that can be used to follow electronic identification and authentication. And so in addition to the visual identification, and for the broad definition, the national eID programs might cover several categories. The first category is chip-based, or use some optical storage such as 2D barcode on the ID card to provide more smart way to do the identification or authentication. And for category 2, it's a traditional paper-based ID card. There might be some biometric data on the card, such as your fingerprint. For the category 3, there's no card issued. It might be simply a biometric-based registry to perform a unique identification to your citizen. Okay. So since we are many people work in the PKI area, you might be interested to know how big is the market. So according to some market intelligence, by 2018, more than 84% of the country in the world will provide some kind of eID to their citizens. And by the end of 2018, there will be nearly 3.5 billion national eID cards in circulation. Okay, so this actually be a very huge market. According to the analysis, the global market size will be the peak will be at 10 billion annually in this year, and after that, it will go back to a real stable annually market around 8 to 9 billion. Okay. So in my presentation, I will specifically to talk about the ICAO eID card. Okay. So what is the ICAO eID card? It's a card that conforms to the ICAO eMRTD standard. It's actually the machine-readable travel document has 3 kinds of form. The TD3 form is actually the size of your passport. And today I would like to specifically talk about the TD1 size. Is the ID card. It's the credit card size, so that you can put the EID card in your wallet and be used in your daily life. Okay. So this is a figure to compare the size of these three kind of eMRTD document. Okay. So this will be the ICAO EID card looks like. It's a TD1 size. Actually, it's a bit, the same size with your credit card. And this is formerly known as the TD1 size machine-readable official travel documents. And this, the E represent there will be a chip inside of the card. It will be a countless chip that conform to the ISO 14443 standard. And this is the card front side. Your photo and your basic personal data. And on the reverse side, there will be a machine readable zone, the MRG zone, in the reverse side. Okay. So when we talk about your identity document, we always need to concern about the fraudulent threats for the ID card. So for the ICAO card, by the according to the ICAO standard, there are three kinds of fraudulent threats. The first one is counterfeit. Counterfeit means that someone tried to create a new ID card with some kind of copy or security printing technology. And the fraudulent alternation or forgery means that someone tried to modify your original ID card. For example, they try to erase your photo and replace a new photo on the card without being fined by someone else. Okay. The imposter means that someone take your ID card and then try to represent as you. Okay. For example, you lost your ID card and someone get your ID card and try to open a bank account. Okay. So for any ID card, we need to consider what kind of a security printing technology we need to adopt. So here is an example of the Germany EID card. They adopt a lot of security printing technology here. Actually, the security printing has a very long history. Since 100 years ago, there are many companies that they already developed the security printing technology to print your banknote or your security document. Okay. So, but the security printing is not what I want to focus today. I just let you know. Okay. Today I would like to talk about how to protect your personal data in the chip, and also how to prevent the forgery of the chip or the copy of the chip, and also how to protect your privacy. Okay. So here is the file structure in the ICAO EID chip. The file system is very similar to your file system in your personal computer. Okay. So inside the chip, there is a master file is similar to your root folder in your hard disk. Okay, and under this master file, there will be some dedicated file is similar to the folder in your hard disk. And inside the folder, you can have another folder and have some kind of element file to let some to keep some of your information here. Okay, and in this ICAO EID file structure, there especially there as a security object, document security object, so to protect your information here. So I will explain this later. In the ICAO standard, the data will keep in the so-called logical data structure. And actually, in the data structure, your personal data is divided into 16 data groups. And for example, in the first data group, it contains your basic identity data. It's for example, your name, your date of birth, your gender, and your document number, and so on. And in the group 2, it contains your facial image. It's your biometric data that can be used be used in the facial recognition. And another kind of biometric data can be put in the card. It includes the fingerprint and your iris data. And you can put some additional personal data here. So how can we protect this kind of personal data be modified? Okay, we use the PKI technology here. Okay, so technically there will be a document security object be stored in the chip. So it that will be calculate the hash value of all of the data group exist in the card, and then there will be a document signer to sign this object. Okay, so this is so-called passive authentication. I will explain in the next slide. So to protect your EID data, the ICAO standard defines some security mechanism. The first one is the passive authentication. So we need to implement, the country need to implement the PKI so that you can sign. When you issue in the ID card, you can digitally sign the document. So that this can be used to check the data are authentic and not be changed. Okay, this is a mandatory implementation. So every EID card need to implement this mechanism. And so what about the other people try to pick your ID card and try to copy the data into another chip and to pretend that he or she be you. Okay. So this there will be a so-called active authentication. It involves to have when you issue in the card, you need to generate some kind of key inside of the chip, so that the key cannot be copied to another chip. So that when the inspection system to check your ID card, you will try to perform some kind of challenge response protocol, so to check that the chip indeed contain the genuine key inside there. Okay. And another is the chip authentication. It's similar to a active authentication, but use some kind of different algorithm. And this is the newer version. So in the future, it might replace the AA mechanism. Another frequently seen the mechanism is called BAC. You might, since the card have the contactless interface, and you will put your ID card in your wallet. So how about someone else use the contactless card reader and try to read your personal information without your permission. So there will be a basic access control mechanism. So that unless you give your ID card to someone else and allow he or she to scan your eMRTD area, because the access key is included in this eMRTD. So unless the people read your eMRTD information, otherwise he cannot read, establish the secure channel to read your personal data. Okay, so this is so-called the BSC. A new version access control is called the PASS. It's provide higher entropy session key, so it's more secure than BSC. And it's anticipated that in the future the PASS will replace the BSC. Okay, and as I mentioned, you might put some sensitive data inside the chip. For example, your fingerprint, your facial image, or even your iris data. Okay, so how can you make sure that only the authorized reader can read this kind of data? So this is what the EAC, Extended Access Control, are concerned about. So to implement the PA or EAC, we need to establish some national level PKI. So here I explain a little about how to support the PA. As I mentioned, since you need to sign the SOD object, so for a country that want to issue the EID card, the country need to establish a so-called country signing CA, and this country signing CA will issue the so-called document signer certificate to the document signer. And when you, this kind of PKI system will integrate in your car issuing system or car personalization system, so that when you issue the car, the document signer will sign this object, and this object will put into the chip, so that the verifier or the inspection system can always check the integrity of the data. Okay. So here is some of our recommended lifespan. How frequently you need to change your key, and the lifetime of your certificate. I will not go into the detail. To implement the EAC, the EAC is concerning about how to authorize the inspection system to read your sensitive data. So it's another PKI. So in here, for the a country want to issue the EID card, you need to establish a so-called country verifying CA. The country verifying CA will sign the certificate to a document verifier. The document verifier is actually be another CA. Okay. And the document verifier will issue certificate to your inspection system. Okay. So, so that if the inspection system want to read some kind of a sensitive data from your chip, the inspection system need to send the certificate to the chip. And when the ID card be issued, the personalization system will put the CVCA key, public key inside of the chip, so that the chip can check the certificate and also check the content of the inspection system certificate, so that it can decide whether the inspection system is allowed to read this data group or not. Okay. But we should know that the certificate used for the for this EAC PKI is not a standard S.509 format, because the chip has only has no the computing power but the same computing power as your PC. So that it's a simplified certificate format, so that it can be quickly be processed inside your chip. And in this certificate, there will be a field that the granted access to this inspection system, so that the document verifier can decide which inspection system is allowed to read what kind of data from your EID chip. Okay, so we put it together like this. The country signing CA PKI actually is involved in the car issuance process. And the country verifying, or we so-called the EAC PKI, it's concerning about the authorization of the inspection system. So it, together they would look like this. Okay, so in addition, since we already use a smart card to provide the EID to your citizen, so why not we incorporate the e-cert or e-signature function into the chip? So there are already many countries already have your national PKI or commercial PKI. So this is we so-called traditional PKI. There will be a root CA and a subordinate CA, and with the if you want to add this kind of e-cert function into your chip, then you need a multiple application smart card. Okay, so such as the global platform Java card, so that you can, in addition to the ICAO apply, that implement the ICAO security mechanism that I just mentioned, and you can add e-cert apply into this card, so that you can issue it can provide the e-cert or e-signature and or encryption functionality, and then you can use your existing subordinate CA to issue the identity certificate to this card. And also, since it's a multiple application card, you can add some other apply to provide for example, smart city services, or for example, the library, or e-health, or any other kind of services. Okay. And also, since the EIT card provide the contactless interface, so it can be used as a way to implement the mobile PKI. So with this dual interface or contactless smart card, you can establish a near-field communication between your smartphone with the smart card. And so the implementation stack might look like this. It needs to be a mobile device with NFC interface. So that inside the smartphone there will be the NFC controller, and by using the Open Mobile API, you can implement some the upper-level PKI API, so that you can develop some mobile app to use the PKI function. Okay. But it's a pity that up to now, Apple has not yet opened up their SDK stack access to the NFC controller. So currently, this can only be implemented in the Android-based or Windows-based smartphone. Okay, so here, if you issue the ICAO EID card to your citizens, so what kind of application they can use? The first one is you can provide a more smart over-the-counter service. Okay, so since the ID card has a counterless interface, and if you were the counters of the government agencies or enterprises such as a bank or telecom, they can equip with the counterless ICAO EID reader. Look like this. And when your customer or your user go to the counter, they just put their EID card on the reader. So the inspection system will automatically check the integrity of the ID card. So make sure it's not a fake ID card. And also the inspection system can read the identity data from the chip so that you can provide a more efficient way to identify your users. Okay. Another application is we so-called the self-service kiosk. Okay. So since this card provides a secure way to identify, to authenticate your identification, so we can let the kiosk equipped with the contactless reader, so that it can automatically verify the identity of the user, and so that you can provide some smart service to your citizen and automatically. So this can be reduce the waiting time of your traditional service desk. Another example is of a self-service kiosk. You can provide a public kiosk that equipped with a contactless EID card, so to provide free Wi-Fi password to your citizens. It's a very efficient way. Yet another example for the self-service kiosk is in Taiwan, we have many convenience stores there, and every convenience store has a kiosk. So our government now try to provide the service through the kiosk in the convenience store. Okay. And the convenience store kiosk can equip with a card reader so that it can perform some kind of self-service there, such as you applying for some official certificate and directly print out from the kiosk, or you can pay the public utility bills in a kiosk machine, or purchasing some ticket, such as the train ticket, airplane ticket, over there. Okay. And of course, since you integrate the e-cert or e-signature function into the card, the EID card can be used to for the e-authentication, e-signing, and encryption for the online services of the e-government or e-commerce. Okay. So finally, to make a conclusion is that the ICAO EID card is a category of the national ID that conform to the ICAO international standard. And why do we want to adopt the ICAO standard? Because it could leverage the existing security mechanism and the existing facility of the ePassport, because it has the same mechanism and the same interface, contactless interface with the ePassport. Okay. And to protect your ID card from counterfeit or forgery, you need PKI to support the PA mechanism. And also to make sure that to protect your sensitive data, that only the authorized inspection system is allowed, will be allowed to read your sensitive data. You need to implement the EAC PKI. And with the multiple application smart card, you can integrate the e-signing functionality or encryption functionality into the card. And also the EID card actually, ICAO EID card actually provide the highest security level than the traditional ID card, because the data in the chip can be used to check the integrity of the document. Okay. And it can provide a more smart way of service for the e-government and or e-commerce. Okay. And also the countless interface of the EID card open up a way to implement mobile PKI if you want to provide more convenient services for your citizens, so that they can use the mobile devices for the identification. Okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you.